joins us. Major question.
Now to tell me all about it is Dr. Dorfman himself.
Dr. Dorfman, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Dorfman, you have been helping people with their smile for years. You've been on shows like Extreme Makeover.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bill Dorfman, for joining us today at 4Smile.
Yes, thank you, Emma.
You are not just a renowned dentist, you are a jack of all trades. Tell me more, what else do you do? Or what can you not do?
I mean, I don't know where you want to start. For me, dentistry was literally the starting point. I love speaking to dental students. I go all over the world and I do this. And the first thing I say to dental students is, I hope for you the success and the satisfaction and the fulfillment out of dentistry that I've gotten, because it far exceeded every expectation I ever had. I mean, who'd have thought that I would start off as a dentist, be featured on primetime TV, be a New York Times best-selling author, get 20 Lifetime Achievement Awards and 2 Guinness World Book Records,
Yes.
and have 3 daughters while all that's going on.
And a fitness guru.
Fitness, yes.
Can I ask you, what's your opinion of a good or a great smile?
I mean, first, natural. I have patients that come in, and my favorite patients are the ones that say, Dr. Bill, you are an artist. You design smiles. Just do the best thing. I trust you. Those are the patients that I literally am so happy to work with. Yeah. The ones that are difficult are the ones that will come in and say, I don't care if it looks fake. I just want them super, super white. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a real dilemma for me, because it's like, my name is on your smile. However, I have to be sensitive to the fact that this is what you want. So will I do it? Yes. Do I like it? No. Mm-hmm. To me, the most natural smile is, a bright smile, but within reason. Yeah. There is a certain shade that is just no longer realistic looking. Mm-hmm. And, you want to fit the right contour and shape for the person's face. If you have a woman who happens to be a very feminine woman, you use a different kind of shape than if you have a woman who's a little bit, less feminine and maybe a little bit more, artsy, or maybe a little bit, rough or whatever. I mean, you need to make sure that the teeth actually fit the personality of the person. Yeah. With men, we tend to use a little squarer, sharper angles. With women, we tend to make it a little more fluid. Now, I have had some very feminine, very beautiful, very dainty women who want very, what we would quote unquote call masculine looking teeth. Yeah. So I think to be a really good aesthetic dentist, you need to take the time to listen to the patient and realize this is cosmetic dentistry. I mean, nobody died because their teeth were not shaped the way they wanted. Yeah. And if somebody's going to come in and actually do something to change their smile, you need to listen. The very first book I wrote was called The Smile Guide. Yeah. And basically it's a catalog of smile styles, because I found it was hard for patients to convey that to me. So I give them a book and they could just go through the page and say, that's what I want.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you feel a smile can change someone's life?
Oh my gosh. I mean, listen, it's the first thing people notice about you. Mm-hmm. And if somebody has such a bad smile that they're not even willing to smile or look at you or open your mouth, you may start to think things about them that are completely irrelevant. You might think they're conceited, or they're, or they're kind of stuck up, or they're, and it may have nothing to do with that. They may just be so insecure with their smile that they won't smile. Yeah. I mean, gosh, one of the women on Extreme Makeover was a woman who didn't just have a cleft palate, she had a bilateral cleft palate. That meant she had a cleft on both sides. So she had multiple surgeries on her face to kind of sew her lip together. But meanwhile, her teeth were horrendous. And when we got done doing her makeover, and I mean, she was a knockout. Like, you wouldn't believe this was the same person we started with. She said, you know what? For the first time in my life, I just feel normal.
Yeah. So you changed her life?
Yeah, so talk about changing a life. I mean, she's like, I don't want to be a supermodel. I don't want to be, I just want to walk into my kid's PTA meeting and just feel normal and not feel like people are looking at this birth defect that I've had my whole life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is powerful.
Yeah, life-changing, amazing. So a little bit of gossip. Based on your clientele, how many of Hollywood actors have veneers, would you say?
I mean, you know, we treat pretty much everybody, and I would say most of them have veneers. Put it this way, either you were blessed with great teeth and great parents who made sure you had braces and this and that and the other thing, or you weren't. If you weren't, you have veneers today.
Yeah.
If you were, you might not.
That's true. I'm a veneer girl myself. So what do you feel the best veneer products are out there today?
You know, there are a lot of them out there, and there's probably a lot of controversy. I have used the same exact veneer material since 1987.
Oh, wow.
And it's called feldspathic porcelain. Mine are feldspathic. And I don't use the pressed ceramics. I don't use a lot of the other ones, the newer ones, because they honestly just are not as natural looking. The nice thing about feldspathic porcelain is that instead of it coming out as a block, which you basically paint over, the technician layers the colors on, just like they're layered in your tooth.
Yeah.
So it has a much more natural appearance, and it has a very beautiful translucency. That's the main way that you can tell somebody has fake veneers, is they don't have that natural translucency. We call it the chiclet look.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's super easy to make a white piece of porcelain, but to add in all the gradations of color and then have a beautiful kind of a halo translucency on the incisal, the biting edge, is what makes it look indistinguishable from a natural tooth. And that's my goal. I want it to look like you were born with these teeth. When you say what, you know, defines good cosmetic dentistry from bad, I'm the only dentist I know of in this whole area that has my own laboratory technician right here with me, chairside. So when you come in, you know what the hardest thing in dentistry to do? By far, cosmetically? One front tooth.
Oh.
If I'm doing all your teeth, that's easy. I just match them all.
Yeah.
If I'm doing 4 front teeth, that's easy.
Yeah.
If I'm doing 2 front teeth, that's easier.
Right.
But you have a kid or somebody who breaks one tooth and they're like, you know what? I like my other teeth. I don't want to, you know, do it.
Yeah.
Matching one front tooth is the biggest challenge a cosmetic dentist can do, and we can nail it because I have my own lab technician. She sits the patient in the chair here and she custom paints all the little shades and all the craze lines and everything right on the tooth. Goes to the back of the office here. We have an oven where she bakes that on so it becomes permanent, and we can match a front tooth, and that's super hard to do.
You just answered my next question, which was how to get the shades, because everybody has so many different shades of white and yellow.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. You know, I would say shading is probably one of the biggest challenges, especially when you're trying to convey that to a laboratory that's maybe several hours away and you're sending a case off. That's why for me to do the kind of cosmetic dentistry I do, I feel it's critical for me to have my lab technician right here because she does that with me. She takes the shade, she matches it, she blends it. I mean, that's really the hardest thing. And if you can get the shape right, and most dentists can do that, but then nail the shade, it's a home run every time.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how many appointments do you feel that people need to come in and have veneers, and how long does it take? 2 days, 2 weeks?
No, I can do a whole mouth, upper and lower, in 2 visits in
Wow.
2 or 3 days.
The whole mouth?
Yeah, well, because I have my own lab.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean,
Well,
I've
you
done
don't-
that.
yeah.
But normally, what we normally do is have a patient come in on Monday. We do all the preparation work. The patient leaves with beautiful custom temporaries. And then they come back on Thursday, and we're done.
Oh,
2
amazing.
visits.
Yay. So apart from aligners and veneers, what else is there to create a beautiful smile?
I mean, there's so many things. You know, people don't realize that probably one of the biggest challenges is your gum line.
Yeah.
You know, when you're creating a smile, you need symmetry, and you'll have a patient come in where they've got, say, a lot of recession on one side and not on the other side. So you want to go for balance and harmony. Now, you also have to look at a patient's face. There are a lot of patients who can give a huge smile and you never see their gum line.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So if it's a little bit off, it doesn't matter. Then you have other patients, when they smile, they've got a very gummy smile. And in those cases, you have to be really, really honed in on what, you know, the gums are doing for every tooth. And as much as possible, you want to make sure that they're symmetric with both sides.
Wow, yeah. What do you feel the best whitening product is out there, and what's the difference? Because there's so many out there on the market right now.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm bragging a little bit when I say this, but I invented Zoom.
Oh, you did?
Now, not Zoom teleconferencing. I wish I had,
Yeah.
but Zoom tooth whitening came from my company, Discus
Okay.
Dental. So I'm still kind of near and dear to that's a great product. If you're going to go to the dentist and you want to have your teeth whitened in the dental office, I highly recommend it. We are about to launch a brand new take-home tooth whitening product. Now, when I was at Discus, we made probably 500 or 600 dental products. My goal was never to just make a product. My goal was to make a category killer. That means my product is so good and the affinity for it on the market is so strong that nobody buys anything else. And I think that we have in the pipeline a new take-home tooth whitening product. It's an OTC product, an over-the-counter product that will become a category killer in take-home tooth whitening.
And that's available now?
And it's going to be probably Q2. Without COVID, it would have been out. But we're working on it, and it's super, super exciting. We're running some clinicals and whatnot. But look for it, because it's going to be everywhere. I'll be on Shark Tank, HSN, QVC. Everywhere you look, you're going to see this.
Perfect. Oh, exciting. COVID-19 has changed the way the world is working today. How do you feel it's affected dentistry today?
Oh, we don't even notice it. Let
so
me
what's
tell
happening
you
now?
something. Yeah, let me tell you something. People might not realize this, but dentistry is probably one of, if not the most dangerous profession to be in COVID-wise. Why? You know, you and I are sitting 6 feet apart. We're socially distanced, right? When you have a mask on and I have a mask on, the chance of transmission is very, very low. It's not that the mask is protecting you. What it's actually doing is it's preventing me from spreading to you more than anything coming in. Because the masks that you're going to wear in the public are really not that strong, and they don't filter. Even the cloth ones and all that. Basically, what they're doing is preventing the wearer from spreading to other people. So most of the masks that you're wearing, in fact, somebody on your crew came in and I said, throw that away. That does nothing, right? People don't realize the effectiveness. So let's just go through this for a second. First, you've heard of the N95 mask, right? Everybody wants the N95. Well, the N95 mask will filter about 95% of the air. Now, if that mask is a KN95, it drops to about 20%. So for me to be doing dentistry with an N95 or a KN95 is not safe.
Yeah.
Because what happens is as soon as I put a drill in your mouth, I'm creating an aerosol. You have this virus floating around the room for 3 hours.
Wow.
I don't want to breathe that.
Yeah.
So this week, I've upgraded my entire office to the P100. Now, if I told you a N95 filters 95% of the air, what do you think a P100 does?
A lot.
100% of the air. It
And
looks
this is it.
literally like, Darth
There
Vader-ish.
you go, Darth
But
Vader, yeah.
this fits on your face. This comes on here. And when you have this on, this literally filters 100%.
Wow.
So I'm having all of my doctors and all of my chairside assistants wearing this. What else are we doing in the room? Well, another problem with COVID is you can actually get COVID from droplets in your eyes.
Yeah.
So in addition to the mask, we're all wearing a face shield like this while we're in the treatment room. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So those are, two of the things that we're wearing in addition to scrubs. I've never worn scrubs in my life.
Oh.
Only for photo shoots when I was getting paid to wear them.
Yeah.
These are figs. I actually know the two young
They
women
look worse.
who started the company. They're beautifully made. They're very comfortable. And all of the material is antibacterial as well.
Oh.
And so now, to help the environment, I'm not having people in my office wear disposable gowns.
Yeah.
We're all wearing figs, and after each patient, I go in the back, I take them off. I'm fortunate because I have a washer and dryer in my office. They wash them, and I bought 6 pairs of these.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. A few of the other things we're doing. This is brand new. This is called an extra oral suction unit. And what I'm doing with this is I put this right over the patient's mouth, and this will remove about 99.9% of the aerosol that's coming out of the patient's mouth when I'm using the drill. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is it sounds like a jet airplane in here when I'm working. So in addition to all that other stuff that I have, I now have to wear earplugs. So I've got my ears plugged, my face covered, my this, my that. It's like it's a joke.
Yeah.
What else? Well, this is, and I even have it on now as we're speaking, a HEPA filter, which filters all the air in this room and will remove and catch any virus that's in the room. So we have these in every room going full time.
Right.
By the way, the air that goes through this, it's a triple HEPA filter plus a UV light. So it basically sterilizes the air. In addition, I have air ducts up above. I've had the building change all the filtration in that to HEPA filters.
Wow.
So I don't want anything from my room going into the rest of the office.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have a few other things. Number one, every patient that comes into the office, we screen extensively to find out where they've been, what they've been doing. When they come into the office, we re-screen those patients, and then we do 2 other things that are very important. Everybody is aware of taking temperatures. You put this on your forehead. Temperature is important, but what's even more important is a pulse oximeter. A pulse oximeter is something that we typically only use in surgery. So you put this on your finger, and it basically tells you what your oxygen intake is.
Oh, wow.
Why is that important? Because one of the very first signs of COVID, it attacks your lungs.
Yeah.
So your oxygen consumption drops tremendously, even before you have a fever or before you feel sick. So one of the first signs that you're going to get is that your pulse oximeter reading will drop down. If anybody comes into my office with a reading of lower than 90 on the pulse oximeter, we just send them home.
Wow.
Because it's just, so we're really trying to eliminate everything we can. And at the same time, we treat every patient as if they possibly could have COVID. We started doing this in 1983 with AIDS. You know, that was the first time that we had, you know, something like that where we had to really change our protocol, beef everything up, and say every single patient you treat could be HIV positive. So what do we need to do to, you know, eliminate the risk of infection, cross-infection, your team, your staff, everybody, you know? And I mean, and as that's evolved, we've gotten better. Do you know that HIV, if you have an HIV positive patient and you're working on that patient and you prick your finger, if you take antivirals immediately, you will not seroconvert. You will not become HIV positive. But this is not something we knew right away. This took years of us knowing, but the protocol is you go on antivirals for a month and then you're fine. You'll never be HIV positive. There's never been a single healthcare provider who's been, you know, exposed like that and went on antivirals that actually became HIV positive. I feel like as this develops with COVID, you know, we'll learn more and more. I was just on a very big phone call yesterday with the head of a big health administration who feels that we're going to get a huge announcement on May 27th. So I'm super excited. I think it has to do with some kind of a vaccine that they may be ready for, you know, larger test groups. I don't know. But, you know, if you ask me, when is our life going to be normal again? It's a vaccine. I mean, when we get a vaccine, we will have life as we used to know it. Until then, no.
Is there any advice you can give to people that are at home just to take general hygiene care of themselves, oral care? Just to...
I mean, you know, general hygiene, oral hygiene. I mean, first of all, wash your hands frequently. You know, especially for people like my parents who are in their mid-80s. I put them in quarantine 2 weeks before it was, you know, mandated. I said, look, you are in the high risk group. You know, you're in your mid-80s. If you get this, if my mother gets it, it's a death sentence. She has one lung. You know, she had cancer. She's not a smoker, but she had cancer and she lost a lung. I mean, you know, she would probably not survive this. So we put them in quarantine, and, you know, my kids and I, we go shopping for them. We don't even walk in her house. We leave everything on the doorstep. She brings it in. She washes it all down. I taught her how to do this. And, you know, and she and my dad are basically stuck in their house. As far as oral hygiene, I mean, we all opened up this week. So most dental offices have been closed. Now we're all starting to open up. And I feel safe. I feel like we, you know, by the way, the one thing I didn't mention, which is really important about this P100 mask, is that not only does it protect me, it protects you. Because as I exhale, it also filters 100 of what I'm exhaling. So there's no way a doctor or a healthcare provider could infect a patient if they were COVID positive. So this is a really good thing for our industry.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit about Meet the Mentor. I'm sure our lovely viewers at home would like to learn more about your podcast.
Well, Meet the Mentor actually came out of LEAP. I've been running a motivational leadership program for high school and college students since this has been 13 years I've run it. I've been involved in the program for almost 25 years. The original founder passed away. And when he did, I thought, you know, this program is too important to vanish, you know? And basically it's a nonprofit we set up. We do it at UCLA every year. And we get about 400 kids. The cool thing is 60% of the kids who come on scholarships. So these are kids that would never be able to go to a program like this. And we expose them to amazing business leaders, athletes, politicians, celebrities. I've had Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Michael Strahan, Apollo Ono, Paula Abdul comes every year. Kathy Bates came last year. I mean, it's amazing. And we basically teach kids skills that they need to be successful. So as a result, about a year ago, I started doing this podcast, Meet the Mentor, because I had interviewed so many great people with so much valuable information. I thought, this could be a podcast. Lo and behold, 2 months into this, we're like one of the main, we're growing faster than any podcast. We're number 74 in the U.S. in a category with 47,000 podcasts.
Wow.
I'm in the top 100 in over 75 countries. I'm number 1 in Yemen. I'm number 2 in Poland.
Yeah.
I'm number 3 in Finland. It's crazy. And I didn't even know that this would happen, but because I had such big name celebrities like Mark Wahlberg and it immediately just came out of the gate. So every week we do another Meet the Mentor interview, and they're really informative. And the thing that I do in the Meet the Mentor that's a little bit different spin than most podcasts is, in addition to asking celebrities and people what their story is, I ask them for a game plan. Like, if I'm an 18-year-old student and I'm watching this right now and I want to be an actor like you, Anthony Hopkins, what do I need to do? And I have them kind of guide the students through that. And most of them are really nice about giving out their contact information and really helping mentor and guide these students. And that's pretty much what Meet the Mentor is. So you can download it on the podcast platform. Yeah.
Great. And the Leap Foundation is coming up soon, right? In July.
Yeah, so
we
had to pivot. Leap has always been a live presentation. Obviously this year we can't.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's going to give us the ability, instead of having probably 400 students, we're probably going to have 2,000 or 3,000, and I already have a solid commitment from Jason Alexander. So from Seinfeld, Paula Abdul. I have 2 of the Grammy-winning singers from the group Pentatonics, which kids love. I have Dennis Quaid coming for the first time. I'll probably have Mark Wahlberg coming back. We're about 90% there with Zac Efron. My daughters will love that. And I think maybe Katy Perry.
Wow.
Well, she's pregnant, so... But we put the request in, and they're going to try and make it happen. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, July coming up soon. It's going to be exciting. It's all virtual this time. So
it will be. But, the platform we're using will give us the ability to create the small group experience as well. So there'll be parts of the program where we'll be in this big grand lecture hall, and it will look really cool graphically. And then there'll be parts where you'll meet in your little group with 10 students and really be able to interact and meet new students in a very safe and virtual environment.
Yay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you at 4Smile, and thank you so much. We wish you luck with everything going on, all these exciting, wonderful things.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.